was to brake to keep me from going over the speed limit. And then when they passed, they looked at me like, wow. I'm like, duh. All I gotta do is hang on and let it do its job. Now we're back down to like 63. Yeah, we just cruising. This is the back road of Texas. I think it's 62. Highway 62. Going towards Carlsbad Caverns. To go through an inspection place. He asked me if I was an American citizen, and I went, yes sir. And he goes, okay, go on. I'm like, wake up at my 3-hour mark. So I spent like 13 and a half hours down. But that was okay, I can, because hell, I don't deliver until 8:30 tonight, and Walmart won't let you get there except for 45 minutes ahead of schedule. And I'm not that far away. I'm like an 9-hour drive. I'll make it there, and then I'll have to sit and wait to get loaded or unloaded. I'll have to sit and wait to get unloaded, and then I'll go over to the BB in Dallas, get the trailer washed out so that when I drop it at their yard, when they get it fixed, somebody else can just roll with it. They gotta make sure the reefer's full. Amber alert on my computer system. Those darn things on my eyeballs. Amber alert, child abduction in Missouri City, Texas. An 11-year-old BF, what is that? Best friend? Oh, that was the other one. Did they catch her? Pickup that I saw wasn't that one, because I called in, told them I saw a gray pickup with a guy driving it and a little girl in there with him. But apparently it wasn't the right one, so they're on the lookout again. BF, is that like black female? So it's a little black girl that's an 11-year-old. She's still missing. One of them people if I did it. Yeah, that got the dog shit beat out of me. They beat me to a pulp, put me in the back room, locked the door. I'm like, that hurt. I laid in the middle of that floor, and I remember I felt like I was dying. I didn't think I was going to live through that one. So, sorry. Memories. I was 16 years old. I just left my mama's house to come back down to Texas. I was a child of the state. I lived in foster care. Well, actually, I lived at the Abilene Girls Home because my foster family moved back to Korea, and the state of Texas wouldn't allow them to take me with them. So they moved me into the girls' home. Nobody wanted a 16-year or a 15-year-old. They said I was a high-risk kid. And then somehow Mama got a hold of them and asked if she could have me for Christmas. Told them where she was living and who was living with her. And since my stepdad wasn't there anymore, then I was allowed to go home for Christmas. Well, on my 16th birthday, I had to go back. And Mama told me to get off the bus in Wichita Falls and sit and wait for my caseworker. She will pick me up. I'm like, okay. So yeah, I did. I got off in Wichita Falls with my big ass daggone suitcase. And Mama had given me $10 so that I could get something to eat at the bus station. And I went and bought crackers. It cost me $2 for crackers, and it cost me $1 for water. So I had $7 left. They took that. I remember waking up thinking, am I gonna die there? I'm really, really thirsty, and I am so freaking hungry. It's not funny. I hurt all over. And then they raped me. Made me hurt even more. They had their way with me. Both of them did. Until the elderly woman stopped them. Said, you're killing her. How can she work for you if you kill her? They backslapped her and then left. And she sat on the floor and cried. And I inched my way over to her and said, it's okay. You can let them kill me. I would be better off if I just died, because I hurt everywhere. And she said, no, you remind me of my daughter. It would have fit me whenever I first got there because I was kind of chunky. I weighed 139 pounds on my birthday, on my 16th birthday. I weighed 158 pounds on my 16th birthday. Because Mama told me I needed to go on a diet. I ran away from that place. I did hear gunshots, but I ran and ran and ran as far as I could, and I could hear somebody behind me, but I didn't turn around and look. I just kept running, and I remember hearing a lot of gunshots. And I ran and I jotted around a tree that cut my arm open. It like scratched me or something, and it cut my arm open. And I was holding my arm against my side, and I felt like I was gonna pass out or something. And so you know those big holes that go underneath the road, that water and stuff drains through. Yeah, I went into one of those and sat in the middle of it and passed out. I don't know how long I was there. I don't remember how long I was there. All I know is when I woke up, it was a little bit dark outside. It was a whole lot of dark underneath that road. But my arm had quit bleeding, but it was like crusty, gross brown color. So I tore the bottom part of that moo-moo that she gave me. I tore it off of me and wrapped my arm in it. I drank out of the puddle of water that was sitting there beside me. And I crawled out what I thought would be the opposite side of the way I came in. I don't know, it might have been the same side I came in, because whenever I got in there I passed out. And I was hungry, and I had bruises from top to bottom. And my hoo-hoo hurt, and my boo-hoo hurt. I was hungry. Really, really hungry. That's when I found out that grass does not taste that good. But I wasn't gonna eat that rat that was hanging out by me. He was still alive. 16 years old. Living in a tin hole underneath the road. All I can remember is they kept my suitcase. wanted to go to Oklahoma. And so I took off walking the other way, passed by my little rat friend again. He didn't follow. He stayed in that little hole underneath the road. But he was gnawing on something. When I passed by. And I was just walking with this oversized moo-moo thingy on me that I had torn it so that I could wrap my arm up. I don't know how far I walked before the police officer pulled off on the side of the road near me. And all I can remember is his side of his car said Wichita Falls Patrol Officer. I'm like, I don't want to go back to Wichita Falls. I hate Wichita Falls with a passion. And he gets out of his car and he walks over to me in the ditch. And I look up at him and he goes, "Where you going, honey?" I said, "I'm going home to my mama." He goes, "Where's your mama?" I said, "She's in Oklahoma." And he goes, "How old are you?" I says, "I'm 16. And he grabbed me up by the scruff of my hair and my neck. I'm like, "What did I do?" He goes, "You're illegal." He says, "You're walking on an interstate and you're not supposed to be walking on an interstate." And he slammed me down on the hood of his car. And I'm sitting here thinking, I thought police officers were supposed to help people, not treat them like meat. I said, I'm a 16-year-old kid. I'm not an adult. I wasn't mean to him. I wasn't hateful to him, but yet he threw me on the hood of his car. He put his foot in between my feet and he kicked me on one of my foot to make me scoot my leg out, and he kicked the other one to make me scoot the other. All he had to do was ask me. I would have spread my legs so he could, like, what, check me for weapons? What the hell? I had a freaking oversized moo-moo on, and I had half of it wrapped around my arm. What type of weapon do you think I have? Are you serious? And so he handcuffed me and he didn't throw me. He opened up the door and he pushed me, which made me fall into the back seat of his cab, his vehicle. And then when he slammed the door, it hit the bottom of my feet. It made my feet hurt. So I started crying. He gets in, and I was crying, and he goes, "No, we don't cry here." And I says, "My feet hurt." I said, "You hit my feet." All you had to do was ask. He goes, "I know your types." And I'm like, I don't know my type. How can you know me and I don't even know me? put me in the jail cell and left me. And the next morning, the secretary came in. I guess she was the secretary because she wasn't in uniform. And she said, "Who is that?" And I had my back facing them and my face facing the wall. And he goes, Rudy picked her up last night walking the interstate. She goes, "Rudy?" So she went and got me orange juice. She brought me over orange juice and like a breakfast bar, I guess is what it was. It tasted like cardboard, but I ate it. And I thanked her for the orange juice. And went back and rolled back over and went back to sleep. I was hurting. I didn't hurt when I slept. And my life wasn't so miserable when I dreamed. Nobody cared. Nobody loved me. That's what I thought whenever I was awake. And then she jumped. I heard this bang. And turned around and she was standing, but her chair was on the floor. And she came over to the bars where I was and she says, "Look at me, child." And I turned around and looked at her and she goes, "Oh my word." She goes, "You're the missing child." And I says, "My mama lives in Oklahoma." And she turned around and pushed one of the officers out of the way and went back to her desk. And she picked up the phone and called somebody. And so I went and laid back down. Waking up the next morning and my mama and her best friend Suzanne was standing in the jail cell griping at the officers. "Why did you put her in the cell? Why are you treating her like a criminal?" And they got me out, and I walked over and gave Mama a hug, and she goes, "You're a beanpole." And I says, "Yeah, they weighed me whenever I came in, and I weighed 73 pounds. I said, "I put on a little bit of weight because she gave me a granola bar and an orange juice since I've been here." Oh, Mama liked to flip lid because according to the lady, they held me for 3 days. get something to drink. And I said I'd flush the toilet, and when the new water would come in, I would scoop it up and drink it. That was my life at the age of 16. I got home, Mama called my caseworker, and told her that she found me. And she goes, well, we figured she was a runaway because she was 16 years old, and we didn't ever expect to see her again, so we figured she was a runaway. Mama should have filed charges against them, but she didn't. She says she's in my custody now. She goes, y'all have no rights to her. She goes, take us to court. I don't know if Mama ever took them to court or not. I don't think she wanted to fight the state of Texas. But I lived with my mama until I was 18, so Mama fed me, gave me water, not from the toilet, and I got to go back to school. Now, the state of Texas did transfer all my paperwork up there, so maybe they just gave up and gave me back to Mom. I don't know. But that's the day I forgave my mom, was when she picked me up, because she's the one that gave me to the state of Texas to begin with, all because she didn't believe that her husband was molesting me. Moral of the story, don't go outside to look for your caseworker at the bus stop. You just stay inside and wait. I'd been sitting in that bus stop for 5.5 hours waiting for that caseworker to show up. I had $7 on me. I could have called home on the payphone and told Mama, hey, that caseworker's not showed up yet. Instead, my ass went outside to look around to see if I could see my caseworker. And that's when I got abducted by those two black guys. So yeah, moral of the story, don't do that. Make the phone calls instead. I survived. Not every kid does. But I survived. And that's what matters. bar. The jailhouse gave me orange clothes to wear. When I had nothing, they let me take a shower. Even though I was being watched, I got to take a shower. Mama took me to the doctor and they cleaned out my arm and glued it shut. It wasn't as deep as what I thought it was. You can't even see the scar. I gained a little weight back, so I wasn't just skin and bones. But I've always had problems. I have an eating disorder. And I'm non-sociable, I guess is what. I don't like to be around a whole bunch of people, or my heart starts racing and my stomach starts hurting and I get sick. I also don't like being in a place where there's only like one or two people around me that I don't know. I have to know them. But if there's like one or two people around me that I don't know, then my anxiety kicks in and I leave and hide a lot. I hide in my truck, in my rig. I won't go in anywhere if there's a whole lot of people, or if there's only a couple of people in there, then I won't go in. They say there's pills for it. Yeah, I'm not taking any pills. I'm not a druggie. I have a hard time remembering to take my turmeric or my probiotic and my prebiotic pills, let alone anything else. It happened again. There is nothing wrong with my radiator. It is full. I checked it this morning. Go away. I also filled my bug juice container as well. And I checked my oil. There's nothing wrong with my truck. Turn that default off. They're just pissed off because I'm on this back road and not on the main road. I'm not going to the main road yet. There's construction like crazy right there on that